Good day. Today is the 10th of January 2024. The question we have to ask ourselves today is, how do I see myself? Yesterday we looked at how do I see God, and today we're looking at how do I see myself. Proverbs 23:7 we looked at yesterday, and it still has relevance today. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Then we look at Numbers 13 verse 33. It says this, and there we saw the giants, beg your pardon, the sons of Anak, which came of the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. You know, how we think of ourselves determines how other people see us, because we behave. It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. How we think of ourselves is how we will carry ourselves, and how we carry ourselves also affects how other people see us. You may think that it doesn't really matter, and if you just are thinking very negatively about yourself and thinking, I just never seem to get it. Everybody else around me, they seem to get it, and they seem to get all the promotions, and they seem to be, just so popular and all these things, but I just never seem to get it. I just don't seem to understand. I don't seem to land all the good breaks. But really, when we think like that, it causes us to have something about us that can be seen. And people will look at us like that and go, oh, don't bother. You know what? That guy never gets the good breaks. That lady there, no. When there's promotions, she never gets them. She's just not really. She's better staying where she is. And that is a problem, because sometimes we don't realize, but it is how we see ourselves, is how we project ourselves. And people treat us in the way that we project ourselves. And so if you are somebody that really is projecting that you are not an overcomer, and that circumstances always get the better of you, then that is how people look at you. They will look at you and see defeat. If you can look at yourself as being an overcomer, and you are confident because God's word says that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, then that confidence is projected, and it changes how people see you. Now, that doesn't mean that the circumstances are good. It doesn't mean that the circumstances are not very challenging, but your attitude towards them is what determines how other people see you as well. And so I think that is something that we really do need to reflect on and think about. How do I see myself? Do I see myself as God sees me? Or do I see myself in a different light? You know, we all have to fight that battle. Some of us are maybe better at seeing ourselves as overcomers, because maybe you've been raised in a background where that was instilled in you, that you can do anything you set your mind to. But there are those that are raised that maybe didn't have that upbringing and really got quite a lot of negative, and so they maybe have to fight a little bit harder to just think on the things of God and see themselves as God sees them. But at the end of the day, if we can renew our mind to see ourselves as God sees you, then you will project that, and others will look at you in that same light, because that is a biblical principle. So I want to encourage you today. God thinks you're awesome. God made you. He made you to be an overcomer. He made you to be courageous, to be bold. Look at yourself like that. Don't continue looking at yourself in a negative light, no matter what you're seeing that you don't like. Those things that God built into you are the things that you need to focus on. Remember this, that you were born of the Spirit. And if you're born of God, which you are, if you're born again, you're born of the Spirit, then you are bold, you are courageous, you are more than an overcomer. So let's renew our mind with those thoughts. Every time these things come, stop those thoughts and say, no, that's not what God's word says. God's word says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I'm going to be bold. And I'm going to be strong because God is with me. Let's start there and have a great day. Goodbye.